We'll keep following it and dig a little deeper into all this with NBC News legal analyst Danny Cevallos. Danny, good morning to you. So first of all, tell us a little bit about the role of a special counsel in this situation. What exactly is Robert Hur going to be looking for?
By now, we are all familiar with special counsels. Yeah. We've had a host of special counsels over the last 5 years or so. And really, this is going to be an immediate 4-point plan. Number one, find out what U.S. Attorney Loesch learned during his investigation. That will be helpful. But then find out what documents were taken, what were their classification. There are reports that some were classified TS, SCI. That's not good for Biden. That's the highest level of classification. But he needs to ascertain the universe of documents and then find out how they got there, because that's critical to determining what responsibility Biden has. And it's the same analysis for Trump and the Mar-a-Lago documents, although there are marked differences, and I'm sure we'll get into those. But at least for the moment, the Biden inquiry is going to be, how did the documents get there? Because right now, it appears that once they were discovered, that the steps were taken to alert the proper authorities.
You mentioned President Trump. Obviously, there are a lot of comparisons with the documents found at the Mar-a-Lago estate. What would you say are the differences as far as the investigation between a former president and a sitting president? For both
Trump and Biden, one of the commonalities is that we don't know exactly how the documents got from the White House to each's respective home. But what we do know about the major differences are what happened once the documents were discovered. We've all discussed the marked differences between the National Archives going to Trump and saying, we need these documents back, and the Trump team fighting tooth and nail. Whereas with Biden, it appears that once they were discovered, they were turned over. Now, that doesn't affect that there might have been something wrong about how the documents got from the White House to Biden's garage. And I just have to say, probably not a good look for Biden to say something like, hey, they're in my garage. It's not like they're out in the middle of the street. His team has done a good job so far of alerting, following the process, letting the National Archives know, and being forthcoming. Biden's got to be really careful not to make glib remarks about, no biggie, they're in my garage. Because most of us with garages know that the garage is not the most secure facility in our home. Now, most of us are Manhattan dwellers. We don't have garages. But those of us that do realize that the garage is not where you put your most valuable items. So not a good look. He should stick with his advisors, who really so far appear to have done everything right.
So real quickly, if the special counsel finds that the law was violated here, what are the potential consequences for the president?
There are potential criminal consequences for taking documents from the White House to your home. I mean, people have been prosecuted for this in the past. It's interesting, though, in situations where people immediately alert, hey, I've got these classified documents, I didn't know about it. One of the consequences is often administrative. They revoke that person's security clearance. You can't really do that with the sitting president. So that's an administrative remedy that is simply unavailable. Another interesting philosophical discussion is, what if Biden, and I don't think he'd do this, what if he waved his hand and declassified these documents now? It wouldn't affect that they were classified at the time, but it really would practically affect the investigation. It's a hypothetical that probably will never come to fruition. Were Trump in the White House, that would not be a hypothetical. He would do it.
As he said he did with the documents in Mar-a-Lago, so there you go.
Benedicted them, or whatever it is.
All right, Danny Cevallos, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.